I'm Dustin Cormier, and this is the How to Rock Astrology audio series. The information in this recording is copyrighted by Dustin Cormier, 2015, all rights reserved, except where noted in the recording. The following information on ascendant or rising signs comes from Stephen Arroyo's Chart Interpretation Handbook, copyrighted in 1989 by Stephen Arroyo, published by CRCS Publications in Sebastopol, California. I do not own the following content. Guidelines to interpreting the ascendant. Although the ascendant is of deep and pervasive importance for each individual, there is no denying that it must be related to the rest of the chart, and especially to the sun sign, in order to understand it thoroughly for a particular person. The sun, after all, is the core identity, the very center of the consciousness, the way we assimilate much of our experience, whereas the ascendant, although it varies in importance from person to person, is not as central to the person's nature. It shows, among other things, the approach to life, but the sun shows life itself. The ascendant must serve the purposes, values, and creative goals of the sun for the individual to function happily and fully. A useful tool for understanding how a person's ascendant and sun sign interact is to compare the elements of the two factors. For example, a Cancer sun sign person with a fire sign rising is usually far more extroverted, forcefully expressive, and confident than a Cancer sun individual with, say, a more conservative, self-protective earth sign rising. For another example, an air sign sun person with a water sign rising may appear much more emotional than he or she really is, whereas a water sign sun person with an air sign rising may appear far more detached and less emotional than he or she really is. It should be pointed out that people are often relatively unaware of their ascendant nature as compared to their sun sign. In that sense, the ascendant is a factor that can be consciously developed further over time and consciously utilized to aid one's self-expression. I've known people who are relieved to find what their rising signs were, since it finally gave them a way of identifying a very deep but only semi-conscious tendency in themselves. In some cases, the qualities and abilities symbolized by the ascendant were just beginning to emerge, and learning the astrological keys to this factor helped personal development greatly. I should emphasize here that perhaps more than with most other factors in the chart, the early environment can encourage or suppress the expression of the ascendant's energies, since it is a primary channel with which one interacts with the outer world. The reader should view the following comparative evaluations as guidelines and as questions to explore, rather than as rigid statements of absolute truth. Capricorn Modality or Quadruplicity. The Capricorn Modality is cardinal, the active energy mode. There are exactly 4 of these active signs in the zodiac belonging to the cardinal modality. These include Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, and they all share similar characteristics. The 4 cardinal signs exhibit more restlessness than the other 8 signs. There's a sense of, I've got to do something, and a tendency to be enamored by activity for activity's sake. These active signs share the challenge of identifying the source of their behavior. Are they motivated by true inspiration, or are they rushing around because they feel like the crap's going to hit the fan? Or maybe they're trying to avoid feeling lazy and unproductive. The element of the ascendant. The element of the ascendant reveals the quality of energy flow directly vitalizing the physical body and the overall approach to life. Fire or air signs rising tend to conduct energy, encouraging active self-expression and dynamic expenditure of energy. Earth or water rising signs tend to conserve and resist the flow of vital energies, and hence indicate self-containment, sometimes self-repression, and the tendency of living within oneself. Earth signs rising: Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. A matter-of-fact outlook. Focus on the material world and conservative attitudes can inhibit imagination, which is then allowed to limit the person's options and/or restrain spontaneous self-expression. Steadiness and reliability are often well developed and highly valued by self and others. Practicality and inborn patience give more tolerance for routine than other ascendants show. A systematic approach, usually along established channels, is the most common method of expressing oneself. Capricorn Ascendant or Capricorn Rising. Capricorn Rising often expresses itself with extreme negativity and skepticism, more often than Capricorn Sun does. However, one should understand that in both cases, this apparent cynicism and disdain for the new is often a protective cover for a more inquisitive, vulnerable, even spiritually open nature. Capricorn simply does not like to have time wasted on unproven ideas, but practical and logical proof even of unorthodox realities will often be enough to capture their interest and eliminate their automatic skepticism. Although Capricorn Sun and Ascendant are both extremely concerned with outer form, appearances, and reputation, the Capricorn Ascendant seems to be far more fearful of public opinion, often going to great lengths to appear normal, conservative, and safe. Capricorn Sun seems to have a greater drive toward achievement and authority, and a more determined approach to worldly success. Capricorn Ascendant sometimes seems satisfied merely with being secure. Both are so impersonal that relations with others are often problematical, although Capricorn Sun is more often than Capricorn Ascendant finds it hard to relate on an even one-to-one level. The following information comes from Isabel Hickey's classic text, Astrology, A Cosmic Science, copyrighted in 1992 by Isabel M. Hickey Trust, published by CRCS Publications in Sebastopol, California. I do not own the following content. Capricorn on the Ascendant. In early life, has delicate health, but improves as life advances. Sensitive, timid. Inarticulate in early life, and suffers from a feeling of inadequacy. Overcomes it through sheer necessity, for there is determination to achieve their goals and purposes in life. Great ambition, and have no peace until they have reached the heights they have set for themselves. Money and position are important. Reserve that often appears to be coldness in makeup. Because they are ethical, righteous, and do their duty, they do not feel that they are critical or cold. All too often they are. As children, always falling and scraping their knees. This is due to poor physical coordination. Later in life, the bumps and scrapes come to the pride. Knees represent true humility, the power to bend. Any trouble with the knees is the outer manifestation of an inner inability to be flexible and flowing. The following information comes from The Secrets of Your Rising Sign by William Lamb with Webb Harris, Jr., copyrighted by William Lamb in 2004, first published in the USA by Fair Winds Press in Gloucester, Massachusetts. I do not own the following content. Capricorn, the wise old goat, is always in charge. With a business is business attitude, people with Capricorn rising strive to earn recognition for their accomplishments. They usually exude a respectfulness that puts them in good stead with their superiors. But they're so calm, cool, and collected that they sometimes wear a face of stone, even exhibiting insensitivity. They believe in take it on the chin and the buck stops here. Capricorn children are often cooperative and easy to raise. They value the approval of authority figures, handle responsibility well, act older than their years, and sometimes delight in bossing people around. They're prone to jealousy. They grow up accomplished, authoritative, and bossy. Do what I say, and don't raise your voice to me. Physical type. Well-defined jawline, sometimes a bony face. Favored colors. Brown, medium, grays. Business-like tones reflecting the Capricorn regard for moderation. The following information comes from Isabel Hickey's Astrology, A Cosmic Science, copyrighted in 1992 by Isabel M. Hickey Trust, published by CRCS Publications in Sebastopol, California. The significance of the Sun and the Sun sign in astrology. The symbol of the Sun in astrology is a circle with a dot in the middle. This is a very deep occult spiritual symbolism. The circle represents the eternal self that did not start here and does not finish here on earth. The dot in the middle represents the divine spark at the center of every living cell, the light which lighteth every man which cometh into the world. It is the point of light at the center of every living cell. In the blueprint, the sun represents the main expression of the individual, the heart and core of beingness. The sun has a different effect on individuals born at different times of the year. According to the sign and house in which the sun is placed, we are able to judge the general vitality and physique, the qualities of leadership, and the individual's ability to succeed in life. In a personal chart, the sun represents the basic drive for significance, the will, male relationships and female charts, especially with the father, vital energy coming from the etheric levels and prana, fuel on which the total personality operates, urge for power, constitutional strength, and finally, a powerful sun means very great power to do and to be. Keywords of the sun: will, individuality, spirit. The sun is the significator of the spirit in man, the beingness or isness of life. It rules the basic drive for significance, the will to be. Physically, the sun is the sustainer of life, giver of light, heat, and energy. More than anything else in the chart, it shows the will, man's highest expression. Its aspects show deep character traits, the chief ambitions. It needs aspects to the planets for strength of expression in the horoscope. As the sun moves through the signs, its return to the sign of its exaltation, Aries, the eastern horizon, marks the beginning of the astrological year. Springtime brings the release of a new cycle of life. As the sun moves through the houses, its return to the eastern horizon is the beginning of the astrological day, sunrise. The sun sign in its element. The following information comes from Stephen Arroyo's Chart Interpretation Handbook, copyrighted in 1989 by Stephen Arroyo, published by CRCS Publications in Sebastopol, California. I do not own the following content. The sun sign's element is usually dominant in considering the overall psychology of a person. This is so because the sun sign's element reveals the attunement of one's basic vitality, identity, and power of self-projection, as well as the fundamental quality of his or her consciousness. The element of one's sun sign reveals the basic inner force motivating everything we do. The element of the sun sign also gives insight into how any individual sees life itself and what expectations they have of the life experience. Sagittarius Sun. Sagittarius is a fire sign. These are the common characteristics of people born with the sun in fire signs. Basically motivated by inspirations and aspirations. Recharges energy through vigorous, physically demanding activity and by pursuing new visions for the future. Interpretive guidelines for Sun and Sagittarius. Creative energy is directed towards one's ideals and aspirations, not only expressing them, but often promoting them to others. Sense of individuality is colored by one's ultimate beliefs and optimistic philosophical outlook. Essentially values wide-ranging mental and physical liberty. Radiates a friendly, exploratory, open spirit, very broad-minded, and values honesty. Needs to be recognized for moral, upright nature. Sometimes high standards can lead to intolerance and insensitivity to others. This final article comes from The Secrets of Your Rising Sign by William Lamb with Webb Harris Jr., copyrighted by William Lamb in 2004, first published in the USA by Fair Winds Press in Gloucester, Massachusetts. I do not own the following content. Sagittarius, born shortly after dawn. Sagittarius with Capricorn rising. These people are truly double-edged swords. Sagittarius is sweet and positive, but if they're not careful, Capricorn can be sour and negative. Taking care of business comes easily here, but keeping a positive outlook while giving the devil his due is essential. If these people are heavenly kind in their attitude and earthly wise in their deeds, they end up being in charge and beloved by their underlings. But they're the two-sided coin personified, sometimes bouncing back and forth between positive Sagittarius and negative Capricorn. The sweet demeanor of Sagittarius is tempered and challenged by the dour, calm, cool, and collected approach of a stone-cold sober Capricorn personality. A responsible approach with a winning attitude is the road to happiness here. They're usually very effective at managing people and things, but keeping it positive might be more difficult. If they'll put a positive twist on a sensible explanation, they accomplish the most monumental projects because they think big. Still, Sagittarians with Capricorn rising might always dance back and forth between the sweet and the sour, and, if so, all is not lost. The earthly stabilizing effect of Capricorn lessens the willy-nilly tendencies of leap before you look Sagittarius, so these folks are much more dependable than other Sagittarian types. Capricorn, the wise old goat, always feels the burden of responsibility, but Sagittarius knows to keep it light. They feel the tug of war between work and play, but if they can take a break to center and regenerate their energies and to look at their lives objectively, their Sagittarius perception enlightens Capricorn's practicality, and the result is a masterful administrator with a vision for the future. This is why they're usually found out in front of the wagon train, giving direction with an inspiring smile and waving the wagons forward. Sometimes these Sagittarians climb so high in the ladder of success that they lose touch with the little people. It's important that they remember their beginnings and give support and encouragement to people with less authority. How they treat their underlings is the key to their character. After all, Saturn, the boss, Mr. Taken on the chin of the zodiac, is Capricorn's ruling planet, and forgiving, benevolent Jesus Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So character is what these people have come to learn in this life's destiny. They mustn't forget to support the underdog. Their confidence in others is apparent in their ability to allocate. They show themselves to be masterful administrators by trusting their underlings to get the job done, and they're less prone to the do-it-yourself syndrome. Though the Capricorn exterior can be dour, their Sagittarian hearts definitely know what it is to be kind to animals, share a soothing word, and care for living things. If they'll smile, loosen up, and let their Sagittarius show, the sky's the limit.